Namaskar. Myself Dr. Deepti Bisht, Professor, Department of Kai Chikitsa, Faculty of Ayurveda Sciences, Jyoti Vidyapeeth, Women's University, Jaipur. In today's session for class PMS 4th year, I am going to discuss about hepatitis diagnosis and management. In a previous lecture or previous session, we have discussed all the types of hepatitis. So in this lecture, I am going to discuss about the diagnostic tools and management of hepatitis. So diagnosis, first of all, diagnosis is done with sign and symptoms and medical history. All these sign and symptoms and medical history we have discussed in previous session. Then second important diagnostic tool is blood test. Here, the parameters which fall under these blood tests are liver enzyme tests, which are well known as liver function tests. Then there are serological tests, nucleic acid testing, complete blood count is also necessary, and then blood chemistry. Under liver enzymes or LFTs, the parameters which are included are usually bilirubin direct or indirect, albumin, ALT, that is alanine transaminase, AST, that is aspartate transaminase, ALP, alkaline phosphatase, GGT, gamma glutamyl transfesterase, prothrombin time, and partial thromboplastin time. So all these parameters are included under liver function test. Under serological test, these tests are done for autoantibodies. The nucleic acid testing, again this is done for viral DNA or RNA in viral type of hepatitis. Complete blood count is seen usually in under this section. Leukopenia or lymphopenia, neutropenia is observed in earlier stages. As the jaundice prevalent, then these parameters become normal. Blood chemistry is done to detect urea, creatinine, and electrolyte levels. Imaging is also an important diagnostic tool. Under this, sonography is done, which is usually done to reveal bacterial hepatitis as is seen in liver axis. Then CT MRI are done to reveal all the liver tissues, vessels, tumors, etc. Liver biopsy is the definitive diagnostic test for the assessment of inflammation and fibrosis, and it is usually done in chronic conditions. In acute kind of hepatitis, liver biopsy is rarely done. First of all, we will discuss about how we diagnose viral hepatitis. Primarily, this is diagnosed through blood test for viral antigens, antiviral antibodies, or viral DNA or RNA. In acute stages, mostly IgM antibodies is done, which is done through serological test. In chronic state and after recovery, IgG antibodies are seen. If we see serological testing in hepatitis A, then we got anti-hepatitis A, AG, IgG in blood, which indicates the past infection. In case of hepatitis B, hepatitis surface antigen, that is HPS AG, is found. It is also known as Australia antigen, and this is usually found in acute kind of viral hepatitis. And always remember one thing, this Australia antigen appears 6 weeks after infection and it usually disappears by 3 months. Then in hepatitis B, antibody for core antigen, that is anti-HPC-AG, is done and it is usually found in chronic cases. In hepatitis C, anti-hepatitis C virus antibody is seen, and in chronic cases, HCV RNA, and hepatitis C virus RNA is detected in chronic cases. Now, second is diagnosing alcoholic or non-alcoholic hepatitis. As we know, alcoholic hepatitis is due to alcohol abuse. So, in case of alcoholic, there should be a history of previous alcohol abuse. And here, alcoholic steatohepatitis, ASH, we got aspartate transaminase level more than alanine transaminase level. Approximately the ratio is 2:1. In case of NISH or non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, where usually fatty liver is found, ALT level becomes greater than aspartate level. And if we do the liver biopsy, we can get hepatocyte necrosis and apoptosis. Mallory bodies are specifically seen, and fibrosis around veins and sinuses is observed. One more thing, polymorphonuclear infiltration is also found in liver biopsy. In case of alcoholic or non-alcoholic hepatitis, usually the liver biopsy shows same picture. Although the cause are different. Now, these were the diagnosis. Now, prevention. Under the management of hepatitis, prevention is more important. We should do all efforts to prevent the transmission of hepatitis virus. So in hepatitis A, as we know, it is transmitted primarily through oral fecal route. So good hygiene, clean water, clean surroundings, that is proper sewage handling should be there. Hepatitis A vaccine is also available, which is done before the age of 1 year or after 1 year. 2 doses are given at the distance of 6 to 18 months apart and before 2 years. For hepatitis B, screening of blood prior to transfusion should be done. Safe needles, safe packs should be practiced. Hepatitis B vaccine is available. First dose is given just after birth, then additional dose is given before 18 months of age. Combination of vaccine A and B are also available for hepatitis. Hepatitis C, no vaccine is still available. Preventive measures are adopted like hepatitis B. In case of hepatitis D, it requires that a person first to be infected for hepatitis B. Only after that hepatitis D can occur to a patient. In case of hepatitis C, prevention is similar to hepatitis B. For alcoholic hepatitis, reversible alcoholic hepatitis, it is reversible at steatosis stage, so it will be better to stop the alcohol consumption to prevent further damage to liver cells. Now the treatment. Treatment for hepatitis is basically supportive treatment. Here rest and high caloric diet is given. Antiviral drugs are usually employed, which is entecavir, tenofovir, talbividine, lamivudine. These are few names. Besides these, many more drugs are also available. For alcoholic hepatitis, it is mandatory to complete abstain from alcohol. Psychotherapy is needed. Nutritional status should be watched. Treatment of ascites should be done accordingly. Drugs which are used in case of alcoholic hepatitis are corticosteroids, pentoxifylline, and acetylcysteine. Some contraindications are GI bleeding, infections, kidney failure, and pancreatitis. In such conditions, we have to use the medication very cautiously. So these are management of various type of hepatitis. So let us now discuss about some important questions which can be asked in examination or in viva. The most common question which is often asked is, what is Australia antigen? So Australia antigen is basically hepatitis SAG, which is usually detected in serological tests in hepatitis B. And this antigen appears usually 6 weeks after infection, and it usually disappears by 3 months. So it will be always present in acute kind of viral hepatitis B. The second question is, who is a carrier for type B infection? So the answer to this question will be persistence Persistent presence of Australia antigen for more than 6 months is known as carrier. Means if a person is tested positive for Australia antigen for more than 6 months, then he will be considered as carrier. Another question, how we recognize that recovery has started in acute viral hepatitis. So all of you are aware of signs and symptoms or medical history of acute viral hepatitis. The recovery signs are appetite will return, stool become normal color and earlier which was white or clay color, then urine and eye will become less yellowish, bilirubin and enzymes level will return towards their normal level. So these are the signs of recovery. Then another important question is whether liver biopsy is required to diagnose acute viral hepatitis. The answer is no. Liver biopsy is important in differentiating cirrhosis, chronic hepatitis, drug-induced hepatitis from acute viral hepatitis. So, liver biopsy is usually done in cases of chronic hepatitis or where there is some drug-induced or alcoholic hepatitis. Now, one of the most common questions, how will you manage your case? That is, what is the specific treatment you should done if there is a case of acute viral hepatitis. So as we know, there is no specific treatment for acute viral hepatitis. So the first measure will be bed rest till jaundice persists. There should be complete bed rest and diet should be monitored. Diet should be low fat, high carbohydrate containing, and there should be high caloric diet. That is a diet containing 2000 to 3000 kilocalories should be given. The food must be palatable. No oily, spicy or fried food should be given. And fruits and drinks. The fruits which are given to patients should be plenty. Then the third important measure is close physical contact should be avoided in early stage or in acute stage. Alcohol should be avoided. Sharing comb or razors should be avoided. Regular surveillance on clinical parameters as well as liver function tests should be done. And the symptomatic treatment which is given is usually, first of all, if there is complaint of vomiting or nausea, then antiemetics like domperidone can be given. Sedatives usually should not be used. If patient is very restless, then we can give oxazepam. Vitamins should be given in the form of parenteral injections of vitamin K, which is given in the dose of 10 mg IM route consecutively for 3 days. If prothrombin time is high, other vitamin supplements are usually not necessary. If there is severe vomiting with fluid loss, then 10% dextrose drip should be given. And if there is intense pruritus, which is often seen in cases of cholestatic jaundice, then we can given cholestyramine or UDCA. Similarly, if there is hepatocellular failure, then the treatment should be done accordingly. Steroids should not be used in acute viral hepatitis. Patients should be kept on minimal drugs. Now, another question, patient of viral hepatitis becomes drowsy. What is its significance? So always note that if patient is going toward hepatic precoma or encephalopathy, then the patient will become drowsy. So we have to take measures accordingly. So these were few important questions which can be asked in viva examination or in theory examination. Hope you will get benefit from this session. I will advise you to for going through other reading or other learning stuff too to get more knowledge. So with this, I'm ending the session. Have a nice day. Thank you.